Then we went into the next match where my glasses fogged up.
which saw Cora Jade, who I may or may not have a thing for, versus Roxanne Perez in a Weapons Wild match.
That was, I actually thought that they did really, really well. To a certain degree, like, you got two young girls, and they are young girls. What's Cora Jade, 20?
Something like that.
Something like that. And I think the same with Perez, who was actually trained by Booker T at his Reality of Wrestling school or whatever. And Cora Jade's idol is Mick Foley, and she wants to be known as the female sort of Mick Foley hardcore type. I'm going to be honest, I've seen her wrestle a few times. I thought that was her best performance. She seemed to embrace that, and I'm not a massive hardcore fan, as you know, but she seemed to embrace that style, that sort of match. I actually thought she was pretty good. No? Okay.
Look, I think she. Look, actually, no. I'll be brutally honest. She wants to be like Mick Foley. She's a fucking idiot, right?
Okay.
You want to finish your career by 33 and not be able to walk at 45?
Yeah, true.
What's wrong with you? Well, what kind of brain is in your head if you think that's the way things need to be, right? Secondly, right, she can work.
Yeah.
She's not shit. So you don't need to refer back to that whole hardcore stuff, right?
Mm.
Thirdly, Mick was a pioneer in that. Now, every mud show guy and his dog and his inbred wife is doing it. So why do you want to do that? Wrestle, entertain, get over, because she's an attractive young lady. She can work. Yeah. She knows what she's doing. All right? No, but I'm going to be idolise Mick Foley. What a fucking stupid remark. All right? And I don't hate Mick Foley, but even Mick Foley would sit her down and say exactly what I'm telling her now. Right? Why are you going to be 45 not being able to walk? All right? So that for me is absolutely stupid. All right? I understand this was ending a feud, so I can sort of understand why they went for a Weapons Wild match. Because apparently they had a feud. They were a tag team, and the other one,
they were a tag.
Cora Jade stabbed her in the back. Is that correct?
Yeah, correct. Yep.
Yes, I think I remember watching it. Right. Roxanne Perez didn't show me too much. She doesn't look very coordinated. You know, doesn't look like that. You know, great on how she was doing things. You know, just generally in the ring.
Timid in the ring.
Yes. Yeah.
She has that scared look on her face. I didn't know whether she was trying to sell, but I think she sort of got that timid. I'm still a bit scared. I'm not really quite. I mean, she's 20. I mean,
the bump from that stage to the floor, the table, that was stupid. That was stupid. You know, well, you're going to put your body in that kind of risk. You know.
The funny thing is Perez was setting it up, but actually Cora Jade delivered it.
Yeah.
Like she sort of had to do it because I don't think Perez was confident, and so she sort of hooked her, and they went back. But actually, Jade actually did it, even though it
was supposed to be a side Russian from
thing.
But the point of the matter is that didn't need to be done.
Well, it added wow factor for and that's what they do though. They go for the wow factor.
But that's what we've got here with this stupid booking.
Yeah.
Right? I've got a ladder match I open the show with. All right. Then my second match comes out, gets kicked first. One gets kicked through the casket, then the other one goes through the casket. Now I've got to do a bigger match than that. So now I'm going to put two women out there, and the women are going to jump now from 10 to 15 feet, I'd imagine, because I wasn't there to see how high it actually was. I don't know.
Be a bit higher than that. I reckon it was about 10, 15 metres.
Really? All right. So
it was high. Yeah, they came down.
You're going to put two women through tables like that, right, and risk permanent injury if something goes wrong, right, on an in-house show, on a premium live event, to inexperienced girls, right? To me, that's absurd booking, right?
Or is it the girls wanting to do it to show?
Maybe you're the booker. No, you're the booker. You say no. No, I'm paid to fucking do your job. That's what you say to them.
Yeah.
Simple as that. I mean, it's not, I want to show I'm as good as a guy. Then wrestle a fucking match. Show me an arm drag. Show me a hip toss. Show me that for 15 minutes you can have the crowd hating you or loving you. That's how it's meant to be. Not how many fucking tables you go through.
No, I look, I get it. I get what you're saying, but
what happens if they were a foot out there?
It's a different era.
And it's a different era, but don't. Once again, we're as pro wrestlers now, we're allowing the fucking fans to dictate what we do.
Yeah.
It's up to us to dictate to those fucking idiots what we do. You know?
Yeah, that's fair.
It's just the frustrating part when I watch this. You know, what happens if they were a foot out and one of them landed on the back of their head?
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
You know what? Because you got to try and beat the match that was before you because it was a casket match. I mean, it is fucking ridiculous. You know, unfortunately we've had a few deaths in the ring in the last 20 years, right? From people having to out-top each other.
Yeah.
You know, we don't need that. We don't need that as a profession. I don't want to read about some wrestler dying from a stunt. I don't want to read about that. I want to see guys that are, you know, like Ric Flair wrestling into their 70s and freaking well getting over. You know, I don't want to freaking well see somebody get seriously injured. This is where, and the fans, oh, holy shit. Are they going to visit you in the hospital? Are they going to pay for you to learn how to walk again? No.
Well,
So,
as Booker T said in the first match, he went his whole career and never did a ladder match.
no, look,
He goes, I just didn't want to be doing that stuff.
and I'm the first person to say I did some fucking stupid shit.
Yeah.
I did, legitimately, I did some stupid fucking shit, right? But I'm telling people now out of experience, right? Out of experience, that you should, to be a good wrestler, if a woman wants to prove to me that she is a great wrestler, get in there with another woman wrestler and keep that crowd on the edge of their seat for 15 to 20 minutes, right? And have them hating you, cheering you, and you manipulate that crowd to make you do what you want it to do, and then you wrestle like a bloke.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's real wrestling.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing, like they had trash can lids, chairs, brooms, ropes, chains, kendo sticks. Like they bought it all out, so to speak.
Yeah, and once again, it wasn't needed. It wasn't needed. What's more, all right, so just for anyone who's a wrestler that listens to this program and says, oh, Mick, you know, fuck, you're old and you talk shit, right? What's more suspenseful in the Shark movies, in the Jaws movies? The dun it, dun, 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 or somebody getting eaten?
Yeah.
In wrestling, you meant to create suspense, disbelief, that kind of thing, right? If I just walk in, hit somebody in the head with a kendo stick, right? Tuck, the guy goes down, that happened. But if I'm sneaking into the ring with the kendo stick and I'm raising it above my head and I'm showing the crowd what's going to happen, and he turns around and I hit him when he does it, as he turns around, that's been all build up since all the way through. So if I start pulling out the chains, the whips, the freaking world, or the rope, everything else, people go, well, I've seen all this shit before. This is nothing. There's nothing suspenseful about this.
Yeah, true.
You know?
It's like instant gratification.
Yeah. You know, like last week on AEW, I think maybe the week before, MJF has an issue with, he has a match with Wheeler Yuta. I think the guys that he's working with jump in the ring, grab Wheeler Yuta. He puts on the ring. Regal comes down to the ring, but the way Regal pulls out the knuckle busters, right? He pulls them in nice and slow, and he shows it to everyone. He slides them onto his hand. He didn't have to hit. He didn't hit anybody with them. Just the way he did it.
See, the art of storytelling, isn't it?
There's no fucking storytelling here.
No.
You know, it's like watching the Three Stooges.
Yeah.
You know, so that's the problem. It's slapstick comedy. So you know, I mean, that's where and that's up to guys like Shawn Michaels not to sort that shit out. I'm not blaming the talent at all for this. They're told what to do. You know, they're not given the right direction, and they just do it. You know, talent. You know, is they don't. You don't become a really good wrestler until you're in your mid-30s.
True.
You know, when your brain clicks in, you understand what the business is really about. In your 20s, you do all kinds of stupid shit.
True.
Trying to impress people and trying to impress the boys and the girls in the back. But the reality is, in your 30s, you start to think, well, okay, let's think smarter, not harder.
Well, Anthony's our connoisseur on the ladies' matches. What do you agree, or?
I thought that this... I don't think it needs to be weapons, necessarily. That's the one thing I will agree with. I don't think it needs to be weapons, even though it was majorly based around that. But I thought that they could have just done it as a... I mean, because of it being what the pay-per-view is, like, still, like, don't go to weapons, like, do it as, like, a submission match or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not, like, we got the... Because, like, this match, like, look, it was what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And there were some spots where, you know, but I think that from watching Cora Jade, from when she first started to now, I think she needed to turn heel. I think she's more in her element when she...
Oh, she looked good as a heel. Yeah.
Yes, what I'm saying. Like, I think when she was a face, when she was teaming up with that Roxanne, I feel she wasn't... There was something wasn't there. And once she turned on Roxanne, it's like, oh, there it is.
Mm.
And yeah, man, so, like, this match will look... I can't say, like, it was what we expected with the amount of weapons being used. But in saying that, I gave it a 5, I think.
I gave it a 6.
4.
4, okay.